I'm gonna adjust this because it doesn't look good. It's time for more reviews. And I forgot to turn the LED lights on. I'll turn them on soon. I got 4 albums I want to review today. I'm not gonna really give much of an introduction. We do this frequently. Now that I don't always feel like giving these albums their own reviews, but most of these I feel like don't deserve their own review. But this is, I got Punk out as a review, and I would have liked to review these albums, but some of them came out a minute ago, and I just don't feel like giving them full reviews. And other ones just I don't feel like writing the whole script, and it's just not really worth it. But all 4 of these albums are relatively recent, except for one came out in 2014, but it got its Spotify release now. So the albums we're going through are Trust Fund Babies, Life of a Dawn, Faces by Mac Miller, and finally Pain Paints Pictures by Dax. So let's go. Start with Trust Fund Babies. This was one of the most confusing collab albums I've ever heard of when I heard it was coming out. I didn't even believe it was coming out at first. Biggest reason why? It's a little obvious why. It's literally Rich the Kid and Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is in my top 10 of all time. I love the dude to death. Rich the Kid is Rich the Kid. He's whatever. But the thing about this is that Lil Wayne, okay, legendary rapper, could have asked anyone in hip-hop to do a collab album, and they would have said yes in a heartbeat. Who doesn't love Wayne? Who doesn't respect the fuck out of Wayne? And maybe not every single rapper, but there are some great rappers like Young Thug, 21 Savage, Future that would have had no problem doing something with Lil Wayne. And Lil Wayne sat there and thought, you know what? Rich the Kid is the person I want to make the collab album with. And shockingly, it's as useless as you think it would be. I don't even have much to say on this. It took me 2 weeks to listen to it for a good reason. This album, for me personally, feels like Lil Wayne handed Rich the Kid a ton of B-sides and just said rap over them. I don't care. Because Lil Wayne doesn't really put a ton of effort into this. These don't feel like Lil Wayne's top tier performances where he's really trying that hard. Most of this album just feels like boring trap bangers with a little bit of chemistry here and there. There are some okay tracks here and there. I liked Headlock. I thought Buzzin' with YG was okay. Bleedin'. But the majority of this I just so did not care about. Lil Wayne was the only thing that would have made this good, and he didn't even put the effort in to make it good. It's not even bad. It's a similar situation to the Sin City mixtape. It's just really, I have no opinion. I would probably go around a C to C minus on this. It's pretty uninteresting. Don Toliver, though. Don Toliver returned with his second studio album here, Life of a Dawn. I have not heard his first one, Heaven and Hell. It didn't really interest me when I've heard songs from it and everything, so I just decided to skip it. And I was also a couple days late to Life of a Dawn. I'm actually looking at the tracks right now. But whatever the case may be, this is one of those albums we've been waiting for a couple months. He announced it back over the summer, and it was supposed to come out in summer. It finally came out a couple weeks back. It has some cool features on it. You got Travis Scott, you got Kali Uchis, you got Baby Keem, you got Sofago, you got 2 Travis Scott features. And while I'd really say that there are some like pretty enjoyable, impressive pieces on this project, another one I didn't really care about. It wasn't boring. I actually overall enjoy it for the most part. I think my favorite thing is I think Don really works well with the production. I think Don is a great vocalist and rapper, and I really like Mike Dean's production. Biggest thing with this project, though, is just very few tracks really went any farther than, oh, that's a nice song. Like, not even really feature-wise is this album that fascinating. For me, it just feels like a series of, okay, pretty nice songs that string together to make a pretty nice album. I know for a fact this is kind of a come-and-go record. I don't think I'll ever reconsider listening to it. I don't think I'll ever want to do that. Not that it's a bad album or a bad listen. I just didn't really get much from it. I actually totally understand people disliking it because creatively and like artistically, it's kind of pointless. But I liked it kind of for what it was. But I definitely have not thought about it at all since listening to it. I haven't even listened to like a single song from it since the first listen. I'll go like a B here. I would go B+, but I feel like B+ is reserved to albums I will revisit, and I don't think I'll ever be looking at Life of a Dawn anytime soon. Now on to more interesting records here. This is another one I need to pull the track list up with. We have a project that has been waiting to come to Spotify and Apple Music for 5 years now, and that is Mac Miller's Faces. I was so happy when I heard Faces was coming to streaming. Not only have I been wanting to listen to this mixtape for a very long time, and I've just never gotten the chance, but this is what I think what art people should be doing for posthumous records, versus the idea of releasing a full new album of Mac Miller music. I actually much prefer taking music that people just aren't as familiar with and giving it on a more higher service. This album is like, I think, pretty much the original one. It's the same exact runtime, has all the same songs, features, everything. And to be honest, I really was happy I listened to this because I feel like this is one of the most important yet forgotten pieces of Mac Miller's discography, because this album is the first time where I feel like he really grabs a hold of his mental health issues. Macadelic did kind of touch on the drug thing, but I feel like Faces really does talk about how drugs affect him. And for some reason, I feel like in terms of that sense of depression, anxiety, and everything around it, I think Faces is one of the most abstract but lovable Mac Miller records. Because I feel like this album doesn't approach it from an album standpoint. It fully feels like, it just feels like kind of a hodgepodge of just abstraction and thoughts and everything. And it doesn't come across really that messy, weirdly. It comes across very direct. I feel very interested in this record, and I actually think I could listen to it a couple more times before I really feel like I have a full interpretation. I loved features like Earl Sweatshirts and Vince Staples and Rick Ross. There's so many really good bangers on this album and so many really important tracks on this. Honestly, I think of the 25 goddamn songs, I honestly adored every single one of them, and I think Mac really did put something just really lovable out. And I'm very happy his label went with the move to give us Faces over another posthumous project. Because honestly, Faces is just, it's a really beautiful piece of Mac's discography, and I honestly love it. I would easily give this around an A. I'm not going to put it on any 2021 rankings that came out of 2014, so it'd be in my 2024 rankings, but I'm so happy I finally heard it. And if you've not heard Faces, highly suggest it. It is an amazing piece of music and a truly great Mac Miller album. It's Dax. I was obviously, I think I've mentioned it already, not going into the Dax record, this new debut Dax album, with that high of expectations. I hated the single. I trashed it and got trashed for trashing it, because you can't criticize fast or white rappers on YouTube. But I did not like Propaganda. I just thought it was a terrible song. And yeah, people don't like that, but I don't honestly care at all. Yeah, I don't care if you don't. It's a garbage song. Suck my dick. But I went into Pain Paints Paintings, which is a god-awful name, kind of thinking, okay, maybe he'll tackle things really well. And actually, he does, for about 4 songs. These first 4 songs here is actually a great starting of the album. I think Suffocating is a nice intro. It's intense. It's angry. I feel like Dax used his pain kind of anger rap really well for 4 songs. I keep this in mind. It's 4 songs, because after that, this album nosedives. I was blown away by how well it nosedived on this, because these first 4 songs, Suffocating, The Devil's Calling, 40 Days, 40 Nights, Searching for a Reason, they're a little corny, they're a little off, but they're nice tracks overall, and they actually do work for what Dax wants to go with. But then you get to tracks like Eternity, or you get tracks like Battle with Faith, where he just does a god-awful flow, but then you get tracks like Eternity, where he just desperately tries to go on this theme of living forever and the concept of it, and he just doesn't do that well. He doesn't tackle at the right angle. It's just messy. It's really corny. There's also the track Does God Cry, which is mind-blowingly stupid. Biggest issue I had with Does God Cry as a song is I felt like when Dax did this, it honestly just felt like, I don't even know, it felt like trying to repackage the Dear God song from a couple years ago and get it back out there. Biggest thing I'd say about the song, though, is there's a bar in it where I physically had to stop the album and question finishing it. It was so bad. That bar goes along the lines of, I wonder if thunder is God clapping as he's banging Dax's playlist. Yes, and this is a terrible bar for the obvious reason that it is not a good punchline, not a good brag, but on top of that, it so doesn't fit on this song, because this is the only time he ever comes close to giving himself an ego on the song, and doesn't focus on this idea of God, but randomly just decided, maybe God's banging Dax's music, that's so good I am. It's a fucking bad bar. Then there's a song like Propaganda, I already talked about it. I actually skipped Tom McDonald's verse this list, and I just don't want to hear it. And as the album goes on, I just feel like it never hits the point of the beginning again. You have guys like Cleaver, Yellow Wolf, Snow the Product that'll just do their thing. And at the end of the day, this album just proves to not really have much going for it. With the exception of the first 4 songs, I feel like Dax has some good concepts, has some good flows, some good energy. But I feel like it gets so repetitive and so aimless to a certain point. This album ends up kind of being in the like a better version of Joyner, like a less messy version of Joyner Lucas's ADHD. It's not as bad as ADHD because ADHD is god awful, but this was just kind of bad. It's not terrible, but it's a mess. It's kind of cringy, and I wouldn't recommend listening to it. There's a couple good songs towards the beginning, but it's not really worth the full listen. I feel like, I don't really know. I'm going to kind of range in the C- to C range. I'm feeling a C-, but I feel like C would be understandable too, but it's bad. It's not good. It's not a good album overall, and Dax definitely did not do well with this debut. Hey, but that's just my opinion. What do you guys think on these albums? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll be reviewing JPEG Mafia's album hopefully this weekend. If not, I'll talk about it somehow. I'm excited for it. Then there's Elton John, which I'm interested by. Next Friday's Ed Sheeran, which I'll just review to see how it is. There's a couple other 2021 projects I need to get to soon. So yeah, new reviews are coming. Also that Only JS video will hopefully come soon. See you guys next time. Peace out. Bye.